When the weather's nice, there's one place where I don't want to be, and that's indoor. I'd rather be out there enjoying nature. But you know what? If it's raining outside or if it's cold, that doesn't mean you can't have any of the outdoor flavors indoors. That's what we're going to be cooking up, respecting nature and eating the food that makes the outdoors just so great here on Savoring Our Faith. Today on our menu, we've got some great outdoor foods that you can actually cook indoor. We're actually going to make some tortillas, and we're going to be filming them in with some beautiful meat as well as some grilled veggies. And then we're also going to be making some hot dogs with a little bit of baked beans, and I'm gonna bring it to a different level by adding some brown sugar and also just some aromatics to it as well. So let's go ahead and get started with all of this, because I do love outdoor food. I love outdoor grilling. I just enjoy being in nature. Why? Because God made it, and if you kind of remember from the Genesis account, he said it was good. So guess what you need to do, folks? Get your kids away from the TV and video games. Some of that can be okay, but you know, bring them outside and have a little picnic. And if you don't have a chance to go outside, then what we can do is actually have the picnic indoors. This will work great either way. I got a really nice cut of a New York strip steak here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down into thin, really thin pieces, almost carpaccio style. We're going to put in some bags, marinate it very simply with some olive oil, some lemon, some salt, pepper seasoning. And it's going to just go in a bag. And the acids from the lemon and the citrus are actually going to cook it. But so that people don't gross out that they're eating raw meat, we're actually going to grill it as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut off some of the fat off of this, even though there's a lot of flavor into it. There's enough marbling that has occurred here in this cut of meat. You can see that marbling basically tells us that there is some fat already running through that meat. But I'm just going to do a very quick job of trimming this meat down. This is almost a waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just stick it into the grill so that the fat burns and just impart some of the flavor without eating a big chunk of fat. So the more difficult pieces are going to cut off. I am going to now cut this against the grain and on a bias. We're talking super, super thin pieces that will marinate well in a very simple seasoning. Put in a couple little zippy bags that you can take to go. Pop this into a cooler, and guess what? You got makings for a great picnic. But if you don't have a chance to cook outside, we're actually going to do it inside, bringing the outside in. So cutting this down, super simple. You know, one thing about outdoor cooking is that it is just more, you know, natural. And it doesn't take much. You don't have to have a lot of equipment to do it. All you really need is a grill and some tongs. You could pre-season a lot of these things all in advance. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Putting some of this in basically a bag that you can kind of zip up. We are going to add some salt, some pepper. Notice I'm all doing it in the bag too, so we're going to keep things cleaner. Salt, we're going to crack some pepper into here. We are going to add some garlic, just some garlic powder, a little bit more, doesn't hurt at all. We've got a little bit of an onion, and this onion has some acids in it as well. And what I'm going to do is just kind of put it all in there. We're actually going to have some veggies that we're going to grill up, so when you kind of make this tortilla, it really will be kind of like all of the major food groups in one nice tortilla. So nice quick mince on the onion here. You could use a white onion, that's what I was looking for originally, but you know what? God provides, we'll use the red one. No big deal. And then guess what we're gonna do also? We are going to add some juices from lemon and a lime. Gonna squeeze this down a little bit just to try to get the juices going. Keep this, we're only gonna use a little bit. We don't want too much. Why? Because it will start to cook, especially since we're gonna add one more little special ingredient. So I'm using just maybe like a quick little sprig, maybe a teaspoon or two of these acids. If you want to just simply use the lime, that's fine, but I kind of like using both of them because they just add, one's a sweeter flavor than the other. Here's what's gonna make this extra special and nice, extra hot. Let me get this going here. My hands were a little wet. Hot sauce, you can use any store brand. We're gonna get that in there. Guess what? We are going to let this is about maybe a tablespoon. Get all of the air out, zip this up, and we are now going to keep this all in the refrigerator until we're ready to put it in the cooler and then take it outside. But one thing that makes the cooking process easier when you're doing it outside is preparation. Mise en place, you know what that means? It's basically a French culinary term that says put everything in place. And outdoor cooking goes so much better if you've got everything organized. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna organize this, put this in the refrigerator. It's actually cooking as we speak because of the lemon juice and all that other good stuff. Let's now prep the vegetables. Get rid of this. And I'm gonna just do a quick rinse on my knife. You know, when I don't go camping that much. There was one time that I did some serious camping. My friends enticed me to go on a camping trip to Machu Picchu in Peru, of all places. And I'm talking, it was intense. The level of camping that we had to do, plus hiking. Like, I don't know, what, 30 miles in just a few days? It was really difficult. And my biggest concern, you know what it was. You know what it was? It was, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? And can I tell you, this particular outfitter was an answer to a prayer. We actually had a personal chef with us the whole time, cooking us gourmet meals. Go figure. Out in the middle of, you know, the mountains, overlooking beautiful things. I felt like I was on Lord of the Rings or something. It was so beautiful to be out there. And a lot of times you'll see it on TV. Guess what you can do? See it live. Just go. Family vacations, pack that RV up and just go. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just cut up some eggplants. These are just some purple eggplants. They are bitter. But the way we're gonna cook this is I'm gonna start the cooking process with the acids, and then we're gonna grill it so that it'll be tender and almost sweet on the palate. But as far as getting outdoors and just enjoying nature, it needs to be done because God created it. He said that it was good. We're gonna do the same thing with this zucchini, and here's a trick. Whenever you're working with something that's kind of floppy and flimsy and just rolls on you, and you're working with a sharp knife, be very careful. What can help you is if you just shave just a slight little piece off, just like that. Guess what? It's gonna create a more stable base for you to cut this, and that's what we're gonna do. Just cut it down into some strips. All about the same size as much as you can. Why? Because it'll help in the cooking process. There you go. And just one more little piece right here. Excellent. Sometimes I think that our technologically advanced age have locked us all in these little castles, our own kingdom. But you know what? We need to be part of God's kingdom. That means get out into nature. So put the video games down and try to experience the good things that God has given to us. all year long. The great outdoors, because God made it, it is good. I sometimes wonder if our kids get enough exercise, to be honest with you. I mean, it would be wonderful if I could actually make muscle and develop agility playing a video game. I'm not downing video games because I love playing video games. I loved it. But I'm going to start sounding old. Please forgive me. But in my day, you had to use to put a quarter in these video games. That's the only kind I had. And then home gaming systems kind of took over, and so you could do more of that indoor. And my mom and dad were very good to us kids. They gave us some of those home video game entertainment systems. But here's what they said. You can't be playing this all day. There is no way I'm going to make you sit home. You got to get out there and you got to exercise. And honestly, we got to do more of that now, because people could just basically sit at home all day, never leave their houses, and experience God's incredible goodness revealed in nature. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let me just put some of the juices now of this lime and this lemon into this plastic bag. The longer this sits, the more that we will be able to marinate and get the flavors in and begin the cooking process, so that when we start grilling, it's going to be nothing but a quick little cooking process. And you know what? Good. It shouldn't take long. Why? Because you're outside. Enjoy it. Okay, so all of these in here, I'm now going to add some, keeping the flavor profiles consistent and easy. We definitely need some salt. It'll help pull out also some of the bitterness from the eggplant. And then some pepper as well. And you can see, even though I'm making a little bit of a mess, I'm not making a lot of a mess, especially since at one point I'm just going to clean this all up so that we can pretend like we are outside. I'm going to take some parsley and then some cilantro as well. I'm just going to mix that all up. Quick little dice. Fresh on fresh, with some beautiful grilling marks that we're going to create. It'll make this food not only delicious, but just naturally beautiful. All right, so guess what we got? Oh, we got to put some olive oil in here too. Why? Because I'm not going to take a bottle of olive oil with me when I go camping or anything like that. Although, if you were to ask me what would be the one ingredient if I were on a lonely island, what would it be? It's a toss-up between olive oil and salt. One or the other, because those are just two key ingredients for cooking. It's interesting, too, that they're also scriptural references. The oil being what? An idea of being anointed, and the salt, Jesus in fact calls us that, salt of the earth. All right, so here we go. We've got this kind of all together. Let's get this situated into a refrigerator, letting that cook, while I start on a simple bean dish that will also have some hot dogs, but I'm going to do it in a different way. Let's just pretend that you don't have hardly any of these things with you outside. And the only thing you have is just, one of those pans that you can kind of throw away. So bring one of them. They're not heavy. They're aluminum pans. And let's just say that you don't have enough hot dog for everyone, but you want to have that outdoor hot doggy flavor. Here's a great little recipe and a fun trick that can help you kind of increase the flavor without having all that quantity. All right. So into a pan, I will actually put these hot dogs and start to cook it all up. To this, I'm going to pull out the sour cream now as well. Let's get this grill going right now. And again, all we're doing is we're pretending we are in the great outdoors. Great. Let's, you won't carry this around with you, but why not? This doesn't pack too heavy in a cooler. And if you have a grill, you wouldn't even need to worry about it. I'm just doing this, even though this is a non-stick cast iron skillet, even though it's all there, we're gonna do this so that it's easy to clean up. All right, these dogs are starting to go. Let's put these all in here. I was gonna show you what I was gonna do with these hot dog buns as well. Great, great, and great. Let me get these hot dog buns grilling just to get some color, absorb a little bit of that oil. It's so delicious that way, and I'm actually gonna do the same thing with these tortillas. Okay, hot dogs are going. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait, because these are already kind of cooked. We're just gonna wait to warm them up just a little bit. Hopefully get a little bit of sear on these things, which we will do. As a matter of fact, it's already happening now. So instead of giving you a full hot dog, we're gonna give you a handful of hot dogs and beans with a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of sour cream, a little garlic powder as well, just because that's how we do it. And here's how you just pack it all up in a bag and take it with you. Throw it in a little aluminum foil. I can start to smell it now. It's definitely crusting up. So here's where I add some pork and beans. There you go. We're gonna add a little bit of the brown sugar now as well. Mix this all together. Smells so good in here. I would say this is the kind of meal you would get at a ballpark, but that's just not true. Unless you go to the ballpark with me, I'll cook this for you. Look at that. This couldn't be any simpler. This couldn't be any simpler. Let me add some herbs to it as well, some fresh cilantro. And I'm gonna let that kind of cook up, and I'm gonna let my buns warm up. These are hot dog buns here on the grill. Some nice bright green to it all. I know these hot dog buns are just about done. Not just, close. Yeah, there we go. We've got some grill mark going. As soon as that's done, we're gonna pull these off because we're gonna be making some unique, delicious hot dogs, pork and beans. So, so tasty. And once these are done, I'm gonna come right back to show you the grilling for the meat and the vegetables as well. Grace builds on nature. So what might be a fun thing for a family to do? Go out into nature and just see how nature has a logic. Nothing is random. God created all of this to have a perfect harmony and a perfect order. I think we can learn a lot about God, just like St. Francis did, if we can learn to respect and appreciate nature. We've got the grayed out smoky door flavor indoor. You obviously want to make sure your ventilation system is good, or you'll set up a fire alarm, which I've actually done before on a few occasions. Now this beef is going to take but nothing to cook, simply because it's already been so thinly cut and it's marinated in a lot of spicy flavors, including some acids, to help with the cooking process. And I'm just going to start layering some of these different vegetables. And you can do this in batches, basically. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Take some of these onions, some of these zucchini, some of these delicious eggplants, putting it all on this, and we're just gonna let this cook down as I start plating some of these gourmet hot dogs. Really delicious. I think your kids are gonna think to yourself, Mom, this is no ordinary hot dog. Dad, what you do to this? Well, you just add a little bit of love and a lot extra flavor. And that's what I did. To add a little bit more flavor, I actually toasted and grilled some of the bread. There you go, just like that. Why don't we make 2 of them for right now? We're gonna take a little bit of these hot dogs. I kind of like this open-faced, actually, because that way, to give it a little civility, you have to eat this with a fork and a knife. And again, this is great if you just didn't have enough hot dogs for everybody to go around. This is one of those delicious meals that definitely helps give you all the flavors, but at the same time, makes it super simple and delicious. That's that. I'm going to top it off with a little bit of sour cream, and just to be fancy, also a little bit of some cilantro as well. Just so that people know what it is, adds a little bit of freshness and brightness. You know, a small little can like this can easily fit into a cooler. Not a big deal. And it really is absolutely a unique and delicious way to have something so easy and yet kind of fancy. So there is some cilantro. Let's put this off to the side right now as we continue to cook the rest of these ingredients on the grill. Again, not taking long at all. Let's see just how the grill marks look on this. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And again, this has been cooking down already in some of the acids, so I think we're gonna be okay in creating still kind of that smoky char flavor that you get outdoors. And yet, at the same time, we're doing it all indoors. The meat is definitely done. I'm gonna create a little bit of room because I'm gonna do the same thing with my tortillas just to warm them up. Putting this all together. This was actually inspired by a taco stand that I visited in one of my trips. They had a little taco to go, so to speak. We actually did a couple of these episodes with Grace before meals, and it's such a great honor to do it for you all here at EWTN. And we did this actually for the Boy Scouts. Talk about a group of people who love the great outdoors. I really enjoy the Boy Scouts, especially the Catholic Scouts, because they actually give you a chance to go through different levels of some catechetical development, at the same time learn to respect nature and the other virtues that come along with the Boy Scouts. Pretty impressive. Obviously, the discipline and the respect for each other. It's a great way for young people to enjoy not only the great outdoors, but also learn something about God in the process. God made the world, and He said it was good. And unfortunately, we've done some bad things to it. Perhaps we need to just consider, how do we respect nature? How do we use it and master it in a way that will truly benefit nature and show the beauty, the original beauty that God intended when He created everything? So here we go, just kind of grilling this up. Super simple. I think if you try these recipes, your family will definitely enjoy them, especially those who just like being outside. If I were to tell you where my favorite outdoor place would be, you probably would think it's some, exotic place like the Amalfi Coast in Italy, and that's pretty nice. Or just, the mountains in Colorado, again, very nice. But honestly, for me, what I enjoy about the outdoors is just sitting at home, getting a little patio or a porch area, and then just simply enjoying the outdoors close to home. In big cities, you can do this easily enough by just sitting out on a grill, putting a grill out on your patio if you're fortunate to have one. You're gonna make so many friends that way. All right, here we go. Here's my preparation. Tortillas are nicely warm. Put these out. Put these out. All right, I will admit, one of the things that you can do better with these eggplants is to actually cut them into smaller pieces, which is what I will do now, and I will remember in the future when I do this to make sure that I make them even smaller to make it cook even more quickly. So we'll start off with a little bit of eggplant on each one of these tortillas. Does this look familiar? It's basically like a little burrito action here, but with some great vegetable action. Same thing on this. Let's cut this at a bias. Ah, delicious. Some onions. And of course, this meat. And I think definitely when you put all these flavors all together, you're just going to realize how awesome natural food, nature really is. Makes it fun, simple, delicious. God bless this food. God bless families so that they enjoy your creation. God bless all of those who are celebrating the great outdoors, even if you're celebrating them indoors. And we ask this blessing so that we can say after we eat this, God, this is good. We'll see you next time here on Savoring Our Faith.